Hey, this is Nick. I thought I'd do a quick lesson just on some jazz fusion stuff. I thought what I'd talk about today is a pretty a pretty common concept for me to use, but not a lot of people tend to think about this. I'm going to put it out there as a modal way of playing. Now, there's a bunch of different ways of looking at this, but say we're in the key of A minor. I don't necessarily think A minor. I might think A Dorian. So the notes I have there are A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and A. A Dorian. So when I'm in A Dorian as opposed to A minor, I might have a chord progression that maybe goes A minor, C major 7 to D, D9. Might have a chord progression like that I'm playing over. I could play A minor, I could play C, and I could play D. But another way of looking at that could also be to just play just to play A Dorian, and to think of that as its own kind of sound on its own. And out of that, I could take these two notes. So I could take G and E, for example. Now, those two notes, I don't even know what they are in relation to the chord. I mean, in relation to the A minor, it's the flat 7 and the 5, but I'm not thinking that way. I'm just thinking that's two notes that fit out of A Dorian. And maybe I'll make a melody out of that. My melody might be, right, very simple. And I might go, I've just harmonized it using those notes. Now, they might happen to be a certain interval apart, but again, I'm not thinking that. It could be these two notes. Be those two notes. There I've got a C and a B, which gives you this major 7th thing that Sko uses a lot in his playing. In that case, that would become the minor 7th, and that would become another minor 7th. Up here it would be a major 7th again, but I'm not thinking that. I'm just thinking that note's in A Dorian and that note's in A Dorian. And those two notes can come from anywhere. They could be two notes like this. They could be so what I'm doing in that instance is I'm holding a note and then I'm moving the top voice separately. And I might move the bottom now. You hear that a lot in classical music, but I'm not really thinking that way about it. This is stuff that I'd use in a jazz context, or a jazz fusion context more so. But I'm just thinking about playing two notes, or it could be three notes. In that case, I've got C, E, and A. I've got D, F sharp, and B, and then I've got E, G, and C. Now, if you don't know your notes on the fretboard, I'd really encourage you to do that. It'll make you a more effective improviser, in my opinion. To me, I don't use tab. I don't really like tab. Some people, they love it. Great, fine, go for it. But for me, I want to know what those notes are. That's a C in relation to an A, and be able to communicate that to people when I need to, like on a bandstand, or in a rehearsal, or when I'm teaching, or any of these other things. I mean, in terms of just playing, I'm not really thinking it, but I do think it when I teach it. Anyway, back to the thing. So I could take three notes like that. And they could be this shape, or this shape, or this shape. Now, if you check out Wayne Krantz, he's a great one for this, because he would do notes where he might take a G and an F sharp, and then he'll put a note in the middle. I'll take an A and an F sharp, and then I'm going to put a G in the middle. So he would do it. So he would take those kinds of things where I've got C, B, and the C and the B are in the same octave, very tense, and then I got B up an octave. So those two notes don't clash, but these two do, and then these two do. And I mean, the thing I like about Wayne is nobody sounds like that guy. He really sounds just like himself. He's such an original voice on the guitar. So I would implore you to explore this stuff. It'll really open up your playing. So thinking modally about things, even against a chord progression. So we had this chord progression here I was talking about. But that chord progression could be anything. So I'm taking a kind of a blanket scale approach. Now in jazz improvisation, that's normally not something you would do. Normally in jazz improvisation, you want to play changes. But in jazz fusion, I might be playing different kinds of sounds and things. I still want to play changes when it's necessary, but this is another approach to it. Another thing I should talk about, another way to work on this stuff that might be useful to you, and was definitely useful to me, is to limit your possibilities. If you have if you start here and play to here, there's too many notes when you're working on it. It's just too much. So the better thing to do would be just take, maybe just there. So between 5 and 9, and just play those frets there. That's it. That's all you're going to use to improvise. And you'll actually come out with some really interesting things, kind of out of necessity. So I'm just limited to here, and I'm in A Dorian. I don't even know what that chord is. It's an A, a B, and an E. Doesn't matter. There, I've got a B, a C, and an F sharp. You can get some possibilities out of that, but I'm just kind of exploring that. Now I did creep out a little bit over there, I couldn't help it, you know how it is, but generally I was trying to play there, and I was trying to think that maybe I'll work on just up here. I'm a firm believer in trying to make the most with the littlest amount of information. So if that's your information, try and make the most of it. And to me, that's quite clever playing. That's kind of the way I hear guys like Eric Clapton play. You know, they didn't use a lot of information, but what they do with it is what counts. And B.B. King is the prime example. I mean, he's a guy that would play 2 or 3 notes and just, you know, he knew how to make them really sing. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. My name's Nick Granville. Look me up on Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. I don't really do Twitter, but I'm on there if you want to, whatever. But Instagram and Facebook I'm into. So yeah, connect. Yeah, keep in touch. Let me know about your music. If you've got any questions, fire them in the comments below, and I'll be back with a new video very, very soon. Thanks very much. Cheers.